Hi, my name's Marion. I'm laughing because this is like my fourth time trying this and I really have no idea what I'm doing, so bear with me. I'm feeling really called to do this being a video blog, because I don't know anybody else, and so I'm putting it out there into the hive mind, into the people of the world. And the thing that I'm going to talk about is my personal life, in particular my marriage. And my marriage changed drastically a few years ago. I was in your basic heterosexual marriage, my second marriage actually. Been married about 4 years at that point, 3 or 4 years, and my partner and I moved across the country, and 3 months after we moved out here, he came to me and said that he believed he was transgendered and started going to therapy. And that was almost 5 years ago, 2014. And so here I am, 5 years later. 5 years later. I guess at this point she's been more herself than she ever was himself. But I don't know many people, and I have been to a support group, which I found a little overwhelming. So I thought I'd share some of my thoughts, some of my stuff here online. It's in process still, and I am not a professional by any means. I have no idea how this is going to come out. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was love. When you're in a heterosexual marriage, love is pretty clear as to what you're supposed to do and what's expected of you. And I come from a very traditional family, very conservative family, East Coast, New England, and don't even believe in divorce, never mind anything else. So that was really my background. And though I'm pretty open-minded and pretty liberal and stuff, but one of the things that I have found myself questioning over the last few years, the biggest question I ask myself is what is love? What does love in this marriage look like? Because it's no longer a normal marriage. And it's hard won at this point, and the battle's not called yet, so it's a work in progress. But I really wanted to talk about love. Love is it's a complicated thing. I used to always, I was a typical little girl, Princeton shining armor, and being rescued. And because of the kind of family I grew up in, I was also always just wanted to be a wife and mom, which I got to do in my first marriage. And my youngest is now a young woman. She's 20. And yet here I am in a second marriage who is someone who is, when we're getting along, she's my best friend. And he was my best friend. And as my mom would say, it's never boring. But that's not what love is. I mean, it's part of love. I've had to really ask myself, what is love in this case? And is love gender? Is love sex? Is love relationship? I am inclined to go with Susan Sarandon's version of having a witness to your life. She has a very eloquent quote from the movie Shall We Dance about being married and in a relationship, and it's always really touched me about having that witness. She doesn't talk anything about trans partners, though. So there's not much that talks about trans partners. The trans people are getting the support they need, hopefully, and the trans partners kind of go, what? What does this mean? And then they run away, which I have wanted to do many, many times. But the fact is, I love my partner, and I love her. I don't know what that means sometimes, but I know I want to be with her. She makes me happy. Like I said, when we're not fighting. And so if you're in this situation, I mean, I'm 54, so I think with the younger generations it's maybe a little different, but I really had to ask myself, what is love? Marriage is hard enough in the normal sense, and it becomes harder. I walk hand in hand with a woman. I kiss her in public. I mean, we're not swapping spit or anything, but we're together. And I don't identify as a lesbian. I don't identify as queer. I identify as a heterosexual cis woman. I'm about as normal as you can get. And here comes my dog. Didn't I put the gate up so you can come in? That's Skittles. Shush. Anyway, yeah. Heterosexual cis woman. That's me. Born and raised. Now, let me just be rude for a minute. She's got a gray rack. I'm not going to talk about that. And, honestly, I'm going to swear and I'm going to be inappropriate, so I don't care what you think of me, because I have way worse to deal with. Anyway, I'm a little defensive. It's my first time online. No idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, so love. Love got hard. It got really hard. Better for worse, man. It got really hard. And what I did was I started doing what I did as a mom. I put her first, and I forgot to take care of myself, because I've had 20 years plus of training of being a at-home mom. So that's what I do. I put everybody else first. And I did it because I loved her. And the thing is, my partner is not my kid. She's my partner. And I found myself getting lost in that again, kind of the way I did with being a parent for a while. And I had to ask myself, what is love? What is love? Over and over again. And the fact is, love's a choice. And for some people, choices have conditions. Love can only be with the opposite sex. And when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about relationships and intimate relationships and marriage and all that stuff. Or love can only be with the same sex. Or love can only be if we're having kids or not having kids. Or love means we split everything 50-50. Or love means, I don't know, rainbows, bunnies, and unicorns, fuzzy little dogs. It means lots of things, lots of people, and lots of people require different things out of it. And I've asked myself all those questions. I know that my 3 closest friends are heterosexual women, and they've had a lot of questions, rightfully so, and I have answered. But I know that they have all said to me, I don't know if I could do what you're doing. And I say to them, do you love your partner? Do you love your husband? What if they came to you and said that to you? And then they kind of get a look on their face like, I don't know. And that's exactly how I dealt with it at first. I didn't know. I told my partner that I was here, that I loved her, and that I was going to struggle. I was going to struggle. In fact, the further she went into her journey, as much as I would support her, the more I would struggle. And that is very true. Somebody very wise said to me once that many of the problems that go on with trans relationships or trans relationships that have a cis member to that person, to that relationship, namely me. A lot of the issues aren't trans issues; they're marital issues, and I think that has been true for us, though they get all kind of mixed together. But every day I choose love, and there's some days when I say, talk to the hand, I love you, but stop. What I'm discovering, especially recently, is I also have to choose to love myself. That's kind of a new one for me. Not that I don't love myself, I just, in this relationship, I need to choose love. What do I love? What fulfills me? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? And I can't take care of her. I can't fix things. I mean, I've given people the dirty look down when they're staring at her and things like that, but the fact is, I'm not her mom, and she's a grown person. She's in her 50s, as I am. And I have to, in that love, I have to set some boundaries for myself, and I haven't done that. Love, because I think in my distorted sense of having a dysfunctional upbringing, love means you have no boundaries. And that's been a hard learned lesson for me. The love does have to have boundaries. And so, love, it's a choice. It's not just butterflies. It's not just rainbows and unicorns. It's hard work. But when I see her walking toward me, I love her. She makes me happy. She spoils me rotten. But it's more than that. She puts 2 sugars in my tea when we go out to Starbucks. She stops the car so I can take a picture, because I'm a photographer and a graphic designer in my other life. Actually, that's not entirely true, but I fancy myself that. And she thinks of me and cares. And that's really important. Now, I'm 54. In terms of kids, I'm not going to have any more kids. My 2 girls are more than enough, and I did my parenting. I'm done with that. So in this particular relationship, that was never a question that I had to answer for myself. My kids accept my partner, and they love her too. So, yeah. So if you happen to be watching this, and I can't imagine who will, but if you are and you're in my situation, think about love. It's not easy. And all I can say is love yourself first. It's kind of like on the airplanes when they tell you to take down the mask and breathe into it first before you're helping anybody else. That's what you need to do. I think that I forgot to do that a lot the last couple years. I haven't taken care of myself. I haven't spoken up enough. I've done a lot of work, but it's been a hard one. And so if you love your partner, whether it's a female, male, trans female, intersex, identifying, however it is that they identify, love yourself first, and then choose them based on whether you love them or not. Now, if they don't have the requirements you want, like you want to have kids and they don't, or I don't know, they don't buy the kind of peanut butter you like or whatever, you're going to have enough challenges ahead of you as it is. So make sure that your love is strong, because there's going to be days when you question it. And sometimes I think it's the only thing holding us together right now is love. And sheer stubbornness. Stubbornness, yeah. Stubbornness in my camera keep going black. Sheer stubbornness. And some space. A lot of space from each other. We're still figuring it out. Hopefully we'll make it. We love each other. Bye.